What's up guys, Budcat here, and today is a very special day as we are doing a tutorial recap of the basics of From the Depths. I know a lot of you have requested that. New players, old players coming back who are kind of rusty. So we're going to go over all the systems. We're going to use our test vehicle Jackson here that we used for the simple weapons tournament. I guess test examples. We're going to go ahead and use this thing for all the little tutorials here of AI. I guess basic engine building, hella blades, how to make a plane. And I guess like about air pumps and floating, steel boats, all that kind of stuff, electric engines, sub-vehicle spawners, docking stations, missiles, cannons, lasers, yeah. So we're going to go over all the basics like that. And then maybe later on I'll make an intermediate tutorial, or maybe an advanced tutorial, or we'll see about, you know, like space and EMP weapons, sails, hydrofoils, paddles, jet controllers, all that other kind of stuff. We'll see where we go with that. I might just include those tutorials just in the regular series. But alright, so let's go ahead and jump into it. And alright, so you just made yourself a fancy speedboat, and since this isn't Minecraft, we need to go ahead and power it and actually make it do stuff, so let's go ahead and get right down to it. So let's go ahead and start off and make a very simple engine. Let's just go with like one crankshaft here on the engine block, like that. And then let me show you my favorite design. So it's up left to right connector, kind of like that. Let me get the mirror on as well, so we do like half as much work. So there we go, let's get some cylinders on here. I'm going to move pretty fast, just so we get done a whole bunch of stuff today. Carburetors all around this, like so. And the reason why these cylinders are raised up is because you could fill more carburetors all around them, and it's just more efficient that way. So here we go, let's get some fuel tanks on here as well, just so you guys can follow along. Like, I know this is kind of the slow way to do things, but I know a lot of you really wanted to see this stuff, you know, get put together. So I'll just show you straight up how I do this. Bada boom, I think something like that. Actually, oh yeah, one fuel tank in the middle, like that. And then there we go, and then the rest are just superchargers, pretty easy. There we go, kind of like that. And of course you could use your own designs, but this is what I like to do when I'm starting out making simple, efficient engines. There we go. So we have that, we have, yeah, 586 power, tons of efficiency to the 7th power. Yeah, so there we go, that's an engine we could use. Let me show you guys a longer engine. And now I'm going to show you guys an ultra secret engine design that I've learned in a tournament, looking at someone else's tournament designs. So let's go ahead, start off again with the engine block, and then let's initially start this out as 12 long. So let's get 12 crankshafts, or actually let's maybe get like 9 crankshafts. Let's kind of do that. How many do we got? All right, so let's do 9, and then we can expand it and see how the power grows. Now, this part's easy. This is all cylinders. I did this engine yesterday briefly. In my video yesterday. Oh, actually, let me get the mirror on again. Always forget. So this is all cylinders right up here, and all cylinders right over here as well. And then after this, cylinder in the front. Boom. Okay, so it's completely crankshaft, completely covered with cylinders. Now comes the tricky part at the very end here. We got some carburetors. So let's start like this. Carburetors all along the bottom like this. Then carburetors on like this. So you see that? There we go. And then now we have fuel tanks, right? So fuel tanks go right here, 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 here. See if I remember all this, like that. And then, so that's the first level is finished. Now the second level is mostly superchargers, so we go like that. Supercharger, supercharger. Then where you see this fuel tank right here, that's not an efficient spot for supercharger, so we put a fuel tank there. Then we put supercharger over here. And then, alright, so that second level is done. Now the third level, we're going to go ahead and put a bunch of fuel tanks here. So we'll get fuel tank here, here, here. Oh yeah, and I actually forgot we need some carburetors right about here and here. And then one more fuel tank right up here. I hope you guys are following, right? Supercharger here, and boom, there we go. So this engine will give you tons and tons of power if I did it correctly. Yes, I did. Alright, so 5,900 power with this. And it's going to grow hugely in power if we just extend this crankshaft just a little bit longer. Let me make it 12 long. And then, I guess we could do that right now. That's pretty easy. So let's get some more crankshafts here. Oh, I can't build backwards? Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, let's just put the, let's see here, engine block right here. A couple more crankshafts like this. And then cylinders like this. And let's see how the power jumps from 5,900 to, now what's it at? Yeah, see, there we go, 13,000, almost 14,000 power. So there you go. This engine will keep you alive, keep you rocking for a very long time. Alright, let's get on to other systems. Also, if you guys somehow, if some of you are very new, don't forget that in the resources you're going to need a fuel processor and a fuel tank. Where's this at? Fuel storage tank right here. So your vessel can make its own fuel and keep the fuel supply going. And then there you go. So this thing is going to run for ebbs. Alright, now we're starting to have some fun. Let's go ahead and go to the next step of building an AI. So let's get ahead and do that now. So just got to go to the AI tab, put down a mainframe. Now my AI, I like to make very simply. It's just an AI mainframe, very simple stuff. And then I like to put down, let's just make the simplest piloting AI ever, so you guys don't get too confused. So we put down a little card like that. Since we are on a naval vessel with blades underneath here, we're going to use a naval AI. And there we go, look at that, how about that? It's already, it's moving, and you have options here if you press C for combat. So this thing right now is looking for enemies, and it would pilot towards the enemy based on these criteria here. The default's pretty good, works pretty good. So actually, I usually like to disable reverse. Yes, this is pretty good, get you to go into your enemies. And yes, that's good for navigating AI. What you could do is add on another card for shooting. And this could get as complicated as you want, because you can have multiple AIs doing multiple different things. You can have an AI, let's say, over here for firing certain types of weapons. So this AI right here could specialize in shooting, let's say, ground targets. So you would have, let's see, you need a target prioritization. So this chip right here would be responsible for what this AI is going to focus at shooting on. And the way you differentiate these things is you get the transmitters going here. You could also hardwire, but transmitters is usually the way to go. Transmitter here, transmitter here. This one you can make on channel 1, see? And then this one could be on channel 2. And you just gotta press Q, you can change the channels. So you could have up to 5 separate channels. This one would be channel 2. And then we're gonna get to local weapon controllers later, but this would manage everything on channel 2. Also, what I like to add on here as well to the firing stuff is aim point selection. This will aim at enemies' ammo barrels. So you have your priority, and you have aiming for the weak spots. Bada boom, on channel 2. This is your piloting stuff, doing pretty good. So there we go. That's like basic AI stuff right there. And we're just moving around in circles right now because there's no actual targets or anything like that right now. But there you go. And alright, so now that we have all this power, let's go ahead and build a laser system. So we're not getting to ammo barrels or ammo generation just yet. Let's go straight for lasers, since we have the power. And a nice clean slate right over here. So let's do that. And I'm thinking this video is probably going to be a 2-part video, because there's just so much to cover, even in the basics. And with great power comes great responsibility. So here we go, we're going to keep this nice and simple. Instead of using a 2-axis turret to where a local weapon controller can control this thing, we're just going to build the laser on the deck of the boat. Nice and simple, like, so we can all kind of learn one thing at a time. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the multi-purpose laser right here. This is your core, this is where all the magic happens for your laser shooty thing. And then laser combiner weaponizes that laser energy. And then we want a couple of steering optics, probably about like 6, something like that, so your laser can aim all over the place. And then a few more of these optics here to increase the range accuracy. Just whatever, that's just fine-tuning right there. That's not too important for now. So here we go, we have our weapon, and now we need to make it go work. So we're going to need a few couplers here. Let's actually just do one coupler. So on each coupler, you can go ahead and add some laser cavities. Now this will go ahead and power your laser. This will actually put power into your laser. Or at least it's the area that holds the power for your laser. However, I can phrase that. And then, so pretty much to charge this battery, this cavity, you want to use some pumps, like so. And these will pump energy into your laser battery, which is the cavities down below that this is all surrounded by. So it's going to use the power from the engine, bada boom. And you can also put these on the bottom as well, like so. But there you go. So now we should have some power pumping into this thing. Yeah, there we go. So we have 700 out of 700 energy, which really isn't that much for a laser. So alright, the next step. Actually, you know what? I think we could shoot this now. Let's do a little test. I think we could, oh, this way. Let's go ahead and shoot this thing and see how much, there we go. It's just like a little continuous laser. See that little blue line? It's really not doing much at all. So if you want to go ahead and make a decent laser, you want to make it a pulse laser. This really helps with early laser design. Continuous wave lasers are a little trickier. So let's go ahead to the laser Q switch. That's where this comes in. So it splices the laser energy into little pulses. And here we go. So now if we go ahead and shoot this laser, we will have There we go, some pulses. And this should destroy stuff. We'll definitely be destroying stuff later, but there we go. And if you want to check to see how much damage each pulse does, you can go here and it says pulse laser damage 60. Yeah, so per pulse 60 damage, range 343. So it's still kind of wimpy and weak. Weaky. Alright, so if you want to increase the power on this laser, I'm moving fast, I know, but if you want to increase the power on the laser, you want to go and add some frequency doublers. Now this increases the AP value so you can penetrate armor better. These stabilizers add a whole ton more damage, but it drains a lot more power, so you want to make sure... Darn, our fuel pumps are getting in the way, actually. So you want to make sure you have enough laser pumps on your cavity so that these will, so this laser operates at full power. But that's fine-tuning for later. I just want to show you guys the basic stuff. And then we'll add like one frequency doubler, maybe two. So we have, let's take a look at our damage now. Our damage went from 60 to 147, AP throughout value of 3, and our range went up as well to about 1500, see? So there you go. That's essentially how lasers work, the quick and dirty way. So, alright, let's go ahead to making this thing operated by the AI. And we have ourselves an enemy on the horizon that's going to be firing at us. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We're not going to use our own laser, so let's go ahead and get the AI to start shooting our laser for us. Alright, so that's the way we do this is with a local weapon controller. So all we gotta do is go to AI. Now I'm giving you the simplest possible examples ever here. There's lots of better ways to do this, but let's go with a local weapon controller. It can go ahead and control a weapon up to 2 blocks away. Now I think it has to aim at the most central part, and it tells you whether it's controlling something or not, which in this case it's not. So I think this is the part it needs to be adjacent to. Yeah, there we go. So it's managing that little part right there. And then all we gotta do to get the AI to control it as we're being shot at, look, our boat's already turning in to shoot at it. All we need to do now is get a wireless receiver, and let's make it receive the channel 2. Remember, our channel 2 is our weapons receiving kind of thing, so we put that on there, and press Q, it's receiving on channel 2, and there we go, we are shooting our laser. No, well, not us, but the AI is now firing its laser at this poor little guy right here, getting destroyed. And there we go. But unfortunately our AI, our navigation AI is kind of off right now because it's trying to do a broadside right now. So we can actually tell it, we can actually change it. So let's go ahead and change it. This is actually a good time to go over this example. So see, instead of circling, we can go tell this thing for a broadside angle of 0 degrees. So if we do that, we should essentially center on this guy and face him head on, but honestly, it's just better if you have your weapon mounted on a turret base, so it can spin and point at where it needs to shoot at. So let's do that next with projectile cannons. And this is getting really fun. It's like a refresher for me too. I think this is definitely going to be a 2-part thing, and then after this, probably do an intermediate tutorial, probably have 2 parts to that, and then after that, we'll probably do an advanced tutorial, maybe 4 parts to that, something like that. We'll see how it goes. But I feel like this is really good for the community, this type of video. I feel like this is something that everyone can use. I might make a separate playlist for these basics here, and just have it all together smashed in one place where you guys can share and, like, you know, whatever, just reference from time to time. And I'm going to have links to, like, all these sections in the video, so you can just quickly refer to something that you might want any advice on. But alright, so let's go ahead and do this thing. I built a little thing up here. Let's go ahead and put down a turret base, a new object, 2-axis turret. Now this kind of turret can be kind of funky because it bends, it goes 360 degrees, looking up, down, left, right. 1-axis turret is a little more manageable. It goes 360 degrees, but it doesn't turn up or down, so it won't be jumping and getting in the way of things. So let's go work with that since it's a little more manageable. Oh, this thing doesn't tip over. And oh man, the physics are great in this game. Alright, so let's get a cannon on here. So we go to custom cannons. I did a little simple weapons tutorial just like 2 episodes ago for the simple weapons tournament, so you guys can refer to that for all this stuff. I even built a drill in that video, but we're gonna do custom cannons right now, starting off with a firing piece. So now we are going to make the absolute simplest cannon ever, yet still workable and efficient. So let's do that. Let's get to the custom cannons here. And alright, so a very good design is to have a motor-driven barrel. Now I know this sounds like motor-driven, what the heck is that all about? It sounds motors in it. No, it's very simple. All it does is help your cannon aim, like the actual barrel itself aim, as well as the turret base that it's on. So this is going to pivot to aim this barrel in the right direction, and you don't want your barrel just to be a solid straight barrel that can't move on its own. So this motorized barrel here will help your barrel move, and the turret will help your gun move all at the same time, if that makes any sense. So we'll go ahead and show you right here. So we add some barrels after this motorized barrel, so let's just do that. And you go to the firing piece here to see the azimuth and the elevation, 45, 45. That's the best you can hope for with a motorized barrel on here. You can use other elevation barrels and stuff like that to get higher elevations, like for air targets, but let's just stick with this for now. And if you add too many regular barrels that don't actually add or contribute, you'll see the center of mass on this weapon here moves a little bit past the center point, and then you're going to start losing. See, azimuth and elevation goes to 22. So this whole barrel itself here can't quite aim, and I'll show you right now what the heck I'm talking about. Alright, so let's, because I know this stuff can be extremely confusing if it's like your first time. So, oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, so here we go. You can see, maybe let's do a view like this. Like this. Alright, so let's say you want to aim at a target like this. You'll see the barrel doesn't quite move that far. You'll see the barrel itself is struggling to like match my my cursor where it's aiming at 22 degrees. So it has to wait for the turret base to catch up with it. This is actually a pretty important topic here. Alright, so now let's take off some of this so we can get our elevation and azimuth back to 45. See that? So the center of mass is like still in the motorized barrel. Now, if we aim, see, it follows the cursor much better. See how the barrel follows the cursor? That's good stuff right there. So, alright, gotta make sure it's at 45 degrees. It's like some of the best. Now let's go ahead and make this thing functional. And also, you can see that we are starting to take in some water now, because we have a huge, counterweight down here so we don't tip over. And we're starting to take water in. So, to prevent that, real quick tip, I'm sure like everybody knows this, except for like new players, but yeah, let's go ahead and put a air pump in here. And the air pump will literally get the water out of your ship. It's like having 100 guys with little buckets, and they just take the water out, and it helps you float. It keeps you very buoyant. Very good for steel ships. Well, alright, so let's go over here and finish our work on this device. Let's see. Alright, so firing piece. Let's go back to custom cannons, and let's add a few 6-way connectors. And all we're going to do, just super simple, we're going to add a few ammo boxes onto this thing. So let's just get an ammo box on here, like so. And now this thing can actually shoot. Bada boom, here we go. So it's shooting very slow. Very slow. Oh my goodness, it's still reloading, yeah. So that's the fire rate of this thing. If you want to make it shoot a little faster, you can get an auto loader right here. So put that on there. And the more of these you add, the better it works. Put a bunch of ammo boxes around this ammo loader like it says, and you increase the firing rate to, let's see what we got it up to now. It's reload time is only 1 second and 69.69, so if we shoot again, it'll shoot much faster. Not that much faster, but a little bit faster. So there we go. That's kind of a basic example of that. If you want to make this automated by AI, let's get an enemy on the scene, shall we? Let's get a threat, maybe like 2 threats. Now, I don't know if we can handle 2 threats. But let's get one. Let's see Viper out there. Get the AI on here, similar as we did before. Now we're going to point the local weapon controller at the base of this turret. So, real simple like before. Boom, like that. Controlling one target. And then we go ahead and put a wireless receiver on here. And we'll tell it to receive on channel 2. And there he goes. He is firing very inaccurately at that guy over there. And we got our laser shooting as well. So this is very good. We're still heading in at a degree of 0, so we should be facing this guy head on as we fire, and the laser does its work, and we're making short work of this little sucker now. That's right, look how far we've come. And we're shooting ever so slowly. But it's great though, yeah, and if you want more accuracy, add more barrels. If you want other options, there's so many options you can mess around with, but that's a basic cannon right there on the turret base. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some missiles, shall we? And in wrapping up this video, now we're going to jump right into missiles. Now, missiles, more than cannons or any other weapon, they use tons and tons of ammo. And I feel like this is a good time to touch on ammo now, because now we haven't actually put any ammo on this ship yet. So let's go ahead and put some ammo barrels on here. Now, these explode. You want them in safe armored spots. But we're just going to test things out now, so it doesn't really matter. It's not really that important. So let's go to resources. ammo barrels. Now, the important thing to know about ammo barrels, which took me a while to figure out, is that the more of them that you have on your ship, the faster your auto generation of ammo will come back to you. So you can see our cap is at 600, but you can see like right now we are actually reloading from what we previously shot in these ammo boxes here. So they're reloading, slowly taking ammo from the barrels back into there, and the barrels have a slow auto regeneration, and the more you have, like I said, the faster your ammo comes back without you needing an ammo processor. Now, ammo processors, you can put them down if you need to in a pinch, if you're strapped for space. These things will go ahead and turn your metal resource into ammunition for your ship, and it will help aid your ammunition generation. So, okay, it's enough of that. Bada boom. There we go. So now let's get to the missiles. Here we go. Alright, so let's build this thing, get on the platform, missile and torpedo tab, and then let's get a missile controller like so, and then a missile launch pad. Bada boom. Let's make a 3. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. 1 missile launch pad. So, I mean, missiles are pretty simple in that respect, but the actual missile itself can be heavily customized. So let's get 3 missile blocks. Let's make a really small missile, just a little cutie pie. There we go, just 3 blocks. And there we have our missile. So this thing can actually shoot now if we wanted it to. Where can I get to this thing? Oh wait, here we go. Here I am. I like fell off. Alright, let's get closer to this thing. And yes, we can actually shoot it. But it really doesn't have any guidance or anything like that. So I'm going to show you how to make, I guess, a simple heat seeker. I guess that's the simplest thing we could do. There's all types of laser designated receivers, like laser pointers and all that kind of stuff. But let's just make a simple heat-seeking missile. First thing you gotta do is start with a short-range thruster, duh. 1 fuel tank should do. 1 fuel tank's probably about like 400 meters in range. Probably get your missile about there. There's other ways for ejectors and stuff, but I'm not gonna get... I mean, look at all the options we have here. Tons and tons of options for so many types of missiles or bombs or whatever the heck you want to make. Variable thrusters used for anti-missile missiles. It's pretty nuts. But let's go ahead and put some fins on here. Actually, I like to put the fins towards the back, so it looks like so it kind of looks like a regular missile. So 2 fins, fuel tank. Actually, we don't need that many. Let's do that, and then let's get ourselves a camera. So we got a camera on there, 1 explosive warhead, and then 1 infrared seeker, and that should be all that we need for this missile. And it actually shows you what it looks like there. So we have the fin right there, fuel tank there, camera, seeker, explosive warhead, and then bada boom, there you go. So this thing is ready to fire. Let's spawn in another enemy and see what happens. this is my best part. Alright, so hopefully the turret will go ahead, yes, and face. See, there we go, heat seeking. Look at that, it's going straight to that guy, blowing him up. Let's go ahead and follow this missile here. See how much damage he does versus this little puny guy. Oh wow, we're actually making short work of this fellow here. We should have enough ammo. There we go. It looks like it hit. It looks like it hit one of his ammo barrels. Very nice. Yeah. Yes. Yes, that's very good. That's how we do it, man. That's how we do it. Alright. So, basic, super simple tutorial done. Next tutorial, we're going to work on flying. We're going to work on, let's see, where's my list here? We're going to make a flying ship. Going to go work on some flying AI, sub-vehicle spawners, docking stations, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like we've covered the essential basics this episode. See you guys in part 2.